Hi students, I hope you all are fine. Myself N. Kritika, Department of Chemistry. So in today's session, we are going to discuss about Unit 7, Atoms and Molecules. So in this session, we are going to discuss about book insight, activities and relative molecular mass. This activity 7.1 comes under the page number of 95 in your book. So complete the following table by filling the appropriate values and terms. So this is an element, nitrogen element. So the nitrogen element, it have two isotopes, two different values of isotopes, stable isotopes. Before that, you have to know the isotopes. What do you mean by isotopes? Isotopes, it's nothing but atoms of the same element having a same atomic number but different mass number. So the isotopes comes under the mass number only. So how we get this mass number? By adding the number of protons and number of neutrons in a particular atom. Here the nitrogen, the number of protons present in nitrogen is 7. The number of neutrons present in nitrogen is 7 for N14 isotopes. So mass number, by adding 7 plus 7 we get 14. So N14, it's a one type of isotopes of nitrogen. The relative abundance of nitrogen present in the earth is 99.6 percentage. So how can we calculate the atomic mass of an individual stable isotope? By using one formula, mass number into relative abundance. That's a formula using here to calculate the atomic mass of a particular element of stable isotopes. So its mass number of N14 isotope, stable isotope is 14. Okay. So the relative abundance is 99.6 percentage. This percentage get converted into 100. This percent means 100. So 99.6 divided by 100. So what we get? 33.944 AMU. This is a relative atomic mass for an N14 isotope, stable isotope. Okay, so in this tablet column we are going to find out the average atomic mass of a nitrogen element. Okay, so listen carefully. So this is another stable isotope of nitrogen element. So number of proton is 7, number of neutron is 8, mass number is 15. 7 plus 8 is 15. So N15 isotope. So the nitrogen, it have two stable isotopes. How many isotopes? Two stable isotopes. So the relative abundance of N15 isotope is 0.4. So the formula here, it is mass number into relative abundance of that particular isotope. So the 15 mass number of this N15 isotope is 15. So into multiply the 0.4 percentage is converted into 0.4 divided by 100. So we got 0.06. Okay. How we get the average atomic mass? So this average atomic mass, it comes by adding the all stable isotopes, all stable atomic mass of an individual element. So we have to add this two average atomic mass of this nitrogen atom. So we got 13.944 plus 0.06. 14.004 AMU. So the average atomic mass of nitrogen element is 14.004 AMU. Why here we doesn't put a AMU? Because it is a relative atomic mass. So by adding the relative atomic mass together, we got a average atomic mass of a particular element. So in modern periodic table and all, they use this average atomic mass only. Okay. So the next one is silicon, element silicon. The silicon, it have three different stable isotopes. So the number of proton 14, because the atomic number of silicon is 14. So the number of protons, it remains the same. The only difference which is present in number of neutrons only. So the number of neutrons get changed, differ by step. So here the first one 14 and the second one 15, third one is 16. So while we add this 14 plus 14, we got 28. Like that, 14 plus 15, 29. 14 plus 16 is 30. So these are the stable isotopes of silicon. So this one is the relative abundance of each silicon isotope. So for silicon 28 isotope is 92.2 percentage. So for silicon 29 isotope is 4.7 percentage. So for silicon 30 isotope is 3.1 percentage. I already told that we have one formula to put this relative atomic mass. So we are going to find out the average atomic mass for this silicon. So how we get the average atomic mass? By adding the all relative atomic mass of an single element, we get a relative average atomic mass, not a relative atomic mass, average atomic mass. So the first one is silicon 28, 92.2 percentage abundance. So the mass number here it is 28 and the relative abundance is 92.2 percentage. So how can we convert this percentage? So this 92.2 can be divided by with 100. Okay. So 28 into 92.2 divided by 100. So we got 28 into 0.922. This divisible. If we divide the 92.2 divided by 100 means, so we got a 0.922. So answer is 25.816. Likewise, the silicon 29, the mass number of silicon 29 isotope is 29 itself. So 29 into 4.7, this is a relative abundance of that silicon 29. So divided by 100, we got 0.047. So while multiply this with 29, we got 1.363. Again, the silicon mass number is 30. Multiply relative abundance 3.1 divided by 100. So we got this 0.031. So 30 multiply 0.031, we got 0.93. So by adding all over the relative atomic mass, we got the average atomic mass of an silicon. That is nothing but 28.109 AMU. This AMU indicates atomic mass unit. So the next one is last one, chlorine. Number of proton is 17. Number of neutron is 18. So the mass number here it is 35. Like that, the chlorine it have two isotopes, two stable isotopes. One is 35, another one is 37. Here the number of protons remains the same, but the number of neutrons get differ. Likewise, here it is 18 and here it is 20. So we got 35 and 37. So what is the relative abundance of chlorine 35 isotope? It is nothing but 75 percentage. So this chlorine 37 isotope is 25 percentage relative abundance, which means it is present in our earth in the ratio, in the percentage of 25. Okay. So how can we calculate the relative atomic for an individual stable isotope? This is a formula, mass number into relative abundance. So mass number of this chlorine 35 is 35 into 75 divided by 100. So when we divide this 75 divided by 100, we got 0.75. So the next is multiply with mass number. So we got 26.25. Again, the chlorine 37 isotope, 37 multiply 25 divided by 100. So 37 into 0.25. So totally we got 9.25. So while we add this 26.25 with 9.25, we got 35.5 AMU. So the chlorine average atomic mass is 35.5 AMU. I again remember you this modern periodic table. Nowadays we are using a modern periodic table. The modern periodic table, it contains average atomic mass only. More or less the elements mass number, it is present in average atomic mass only. So with this, we have a 3 elements based on an average atomic mass. So next, we are going to see the activity 7.2 in the same page 95, page number 95. So classify the following molecules based on their atomicity and fill in the table. So here some of the elements they already given. So see this, you are going to classify the elements based on the atomicity. Fluorine, carbon dioxide, phosphorus, sulfur, ammonia, hydrogen iodide, sulfuric acid, methane, glucose, carbon dioxide, ozone. So This is the classification of atomicity. We have diatomic, triatomic, polyatomic. Before that, you have to know the atomicity. Atomicity is nothing but number of atoms present in one molecule. So here we have two types of molecule, homoatomic molecule and heteroatomic molecule. Based on the atomicity, you are going to calculate or classify the molecules. Okay, so homoatomic and heteroatomic. So example for homoatomic, they classify as diatomic, triatomic, polyatomic. So diatomic, see here the fluorine, carbon dioxide, phosphorus, sulfur, ammonia, hydrogen iodide, sulfuric acid, methane, glucose, carbon monoxide, ozone. Among these elements, which one is a homodiatomic molecule? Yes, fluorine is a homodiatomic molecule. The formula is F2 because same element present in one molecule. Fluorine plus fluorine. Fluorine shares a one electron with another fluorine to make a F2 molecule. So it is homo, not a different. It reacts with the same element only. So it comes under a homodiatomic. Like the triatomic, ozone, O3. The formula of ozone is O3. So it has 3 atoms. So it comes under the triatomic. Okay. So next is polyatomic. Polyatomic, phosphorus and sulfur. What is the phosphorus atomicity? Phosphorus is 4 and sulfur is 8. Okay. So next is heteroatomic molecule. Diatomic, heterodiatomic molecule is carbon monoxide, CO. The formula is CO. Carbon is a different element. This oxygen is a different element. So carbon combines with oxygen to form a 2 atoms. So the carbon monoxide, it contains 2 atoms only. So it comes under diatomic. Like that hydrogen iodide, hydrogen Hi. Hydrogen combines with iodine to form a hydrogen iodide. Here we have two different elements, 2 elements only. So it comes under diatomic, 2 atoms. So it comes under diatomic. Like that the triatomic, hetero. So it has to contain 3 atoms. So carbon plus 2 oxygen. What is the formula of carbon dioxide? CO2. Carbon plus 2 oxygen. So 3 atoms. So 3 or different atoms. So it comes under a hetero-triatomic molecule. Like that the polyatomic molecule, ammonia, sulfuric acid, methane, glucose. NH3 contains 4. So if atomicity is greater than 3 means it comes under polyatomic molecules. So this is a heteropolyatomic molecule, NH3 ammonia, sulfuric acid H2SO4, here methane CH4, glucose C6, H12O6. All these comes under the polyatomic, heteropolyatomic molecule. Okay. So these are all the important one. So the next is the important topic, relative molecular mass. The relative somewhat which is related to a relative atomic mass. So see, this relative molecular mass of a molecule is a ratio between mass of one molecule of the substance to 1 by 12 mass of an atom of carbon 12. It's nothing but you just take a water molecule. Okay, so the water bottle is full of water molecules only. So they explain that the relative molecular mass of a molecule, it's nothing but ratio between mass of one molecule of the substance to 1 by 12 mass of an atom of carbon 12. So the water bottle, it contains a full of water molecules. You just take a one molecule, 1 mole of that water molecule. So what is the formula of water? H2O, which is equal, okay, which is equal to 1 by 12 part of mass of carbon 12 atom, which means the carbon atomic mass is 12. So this 1 mole of water molecule, which is equal to 1 part of that carbon. So the carbon, it has a 12 part, you just imagine. So this 1 mole of water molecule, which is equal to the 1 part of that carbon 12 isotope. Okay, because why we are comparing this carbon 12 means the more or less in the universe. Okay, so more or less the carbon compounds, the carbon compounds, it is surrounded by air. Okay, so like that, the human body also contains a carbon. Okay, so when compared with the other elements, the carbon, it will form millions of compounds. So nowadays they use this carbon as a stable standard isotope to compare the other molecule, or even it is an atom. Okay, so that's why they take a carbon. Okay, in the 18th century, they all take hydrogen, oxygen and all as a standard isotope to compare the other element. But nowadays we are taking this carbon 12 as a standard isotope, because the carbon, it forms a millions of compounds. Okay, so that's why we are taking this for comparison, carbon 12 as a comparison. So next is gram molecular mass. Relative molecular mass is only a ratio. The somewhat equal to this gram molecular mass only. The relative molecular mass, they have no unit, because it is a ratio only. We are comparing with carbon only. Okay, but the gram molecular mass, it is expressed in grams. For example, if you take a water. Okay, so how can we find out the gram molecular mass? This will comes under in your next slide. So you just know what do you mean by gram molecular mass. Okay, so the relative molecular mass, it's only the ratio, so it has no unit. But the molecular mass of a compound is expressed in gram, means if it is expressed in gram, it is said to be gram molecular mass. For example, the water, the relative molecular mass is 18. Okay, if I expressed in gram, 18 gram means it is gram molecular mass of water molecule, like that. So see this picture, you can have an idea about the relative molecular mass. So they are comparing the molecule. You just see the one molecule of that carbon dioxide, which is equal to that one part of the carbon atom. Okay, one part of that carbon atom. That's what 1 by 12th part. Okay, so the atomic number of the atomic mass of that carbon atom is 12. Okay, so the mass weight of a carbon is 12. Among this 12, you just take a one part and they just comparing with the carbon dioxide. Okay, so we got 44. The relative molecular mass of carbon dioxide is 44. You are just taking that one part of that carbon. Okay, so first we have to take that carbon dioxide relative molecular mass. So how can we get this 44? Means carbon is 1 and oxygen is 2. The atomic mass of carbon is 12 and oxygen is 32. Here we have a 2 oxygen, so 16 plus 16, 32. So what we get, this 12 plus 32 is 44. Total we have 44. We are just comparing with the 1 by 12 part of mass of one carbon atom. So while we get cancel this 44 into 1, we got 44. So that's what we are comparing the carbon. Okay. See some of the gram molecular mass of some compounds. Gram molecular mass of water, H2O. Okay, so we are going to calculate the gram molecular mass of an 4 compounds. So keep watching with conscious. Okay, so how can we calculate the gram molecular for an individual compound? Here the formula of water is H2O. Okay, so listen carefully. Here the formula of water is H2O. So here we have a 2 hydrogen atom. So 2 into 1. Why we are putting here it is 1 means because the atomic mass of hydrogen is 1. So 2 into 1. So we are going to add the 2 atoms. Okay, so plus here it is oxygen is 1. Number of oxygen is 1. Multiply the atomic mass of oxygen, here it is 16. So 2 into 1, 2 plus 1 into 16, 16. So what we got? We got 18 gram. Okay, so the gram molecular mass of water is 18 gram. Like that, the gram molecular mass of carbon dioxide. So here the carbon it is 1. The atomic mass of carbon it is 12. So 1 into 12, 12. Here we have a 2 oxygen atom. So 2 multiply. So the atomic mass of oxygen is 16. So 2 into 16 we got 32. So 32 plus 12 we got 44 gram. So the gram molecular mass of carbon dioxide is 44 gram. Like that, the gram molecular mass of ammonia is NH3, here 1 nitrogen. So 1 into atomic mass of nitrogen is 14, plus here we have a 3 hydrogen. So 3 into atomic mass of hydrogen is 1. So 14 plus 3, we got 17 gram. Okay. So the next one is hydrochloric acid. So here 1 hydrogen. So 1 into 1 atomic mass of hydrogen is 1, plus 1 chlorine. 1 into atomic mass of chlorine is 35.5. So we got 36.5 gram of hydrochloric acid. The gram molecular mass of hydrochloric acid is this one, 36.5 gram. So these all the important questions. So make it down. So the next is relative molecular mass of a molecule. So we are going to find out the sulfuric acid molecular mass. So see that 2 into relative atomic mass of hydrogen. I already told that number of hydrogen present here, it is 2. So the atomic mass of hydrogen is 1. So we got 2. Like that, here we have sulfur is 1. The atomic mass of sulfuric acid, the sulfur, okay, sulfur in sulfuric acid is 32, not sulfuric acid. Sulfur in sulfuric acid, okay, is 32. So we got 32. Like that, the oxygen here it is 4. Number of oxygen present here it is 4 into atomic mass of oxygen is 16. So 4 into 16 we got 64. Total we get 98. So the relative molecular mass of this sulfuric acid is 98. Okay, so here we don't want to put gram because this is a relative molecular mass. This is somewhat a ratio. So it has no unit. Okay, so this you don't want to write a gram. Okay, so next is relative molecular mass of water, H2O. Here we have a 2 number of hydrogen atom and atomic mass of hydrogen is 1. So we got 2 into 1, 2. Next, oxygen is 1. Atomic mass of oxygen is 16. So 1 into 16, 16. So total we got 18. Okay. So the relative molecular mass of water is 18. So look at this. 1 molecule of water is 18 times as heavy as 1 by 12 part of mass of 1 carbon 12 atom. So they are just comparing the 1 molecule of water molecule. So the weight of the molecular mass of 1 molecule of water molecule is 18. So they are comparing that 1 molecule, the weight of 1 molecule of water molecule is 18. So it is 18 times heavy as that 1 by 12 part of mass of 1. So the carbon 12, we have 12 parts. You just take a 1 part. So you are comparing the 1 part with this 18. Okay, so 18 times is heavy as 1 by 12 part of mass of 1 carbon 12 atom. Okay, so thank you students. I hope you all are get a good idea from this video. So keep safe in your home. Be safe. Wash your hands regularly and wear a mask. So thank you students. Thank you for your patience. Thank you.